Good morning, everyone. I am here now to discuss to you the 21st century assessment. In 21st century assessment, there are a lot of changes, development, and reengineering of system in different fields of forsake of goodness of individual. In education, it focuses on the way of teaching, giving assessment for teaching and learning. This is for preparing and equipping the teachers in catering 21st century learners' needs. Teachers focuses on what to teach, how to teach, and how to assess learners. The assessment and teaching has a big role for alignment of goals and serve as essential policy and practices. So now, what is 21st century assessment? 21st century assessment is a process used by the teachers and student learning during instruction that provides feedback to adjust ongoing teaching and improve student achievement of intended instructional outcomes. This assessment helps educators identify the strengths and weaknesses of learners, which in turn is vital in improving lesson, modules, instructional techniques, and academic support. Is provided to improve a student learning experience. So now, there are 8 characteristics of 21st century assessment. And now we will going to discuss first the responsive. First is the responsive. Responsive is visible performance-based work as a result of assessment generates data that inform curriculum and instructions, in where teachers can adjust instructions. School leaders can consider additional activities, opportunity for student and policy makers can modify programs and resources to cater and to present needs of the community. Process for responding to assessment are thoroughly developed, incorporating best practices and feedback and formative assessment. Feedback is to be targeted to the goal and outcome. Rather than just a single test grade, students are informed of progress towards the attainment of goals. The next one is the flexible. Flexible lessons are designed, curriculum, and assessment require flexibility, suppleness, and adaptability. Assessment needs to be adaptable to student settings rather than identical approach that works traditional assessment. 21st century approach is more versatile. And the third one of the 21st century assessment is the integrated. Integrated assessment are to be incorporated into day-to-day practices rather than as add-ons at the end of instruction during a single specified week of school calendar. Assessment are enriched by metacognition. Assessment is about stimulating thinking, building on a prior learning, constructing meaning, and thinking about one's thinking. It offers opportunities for students to consider their choices, identify alternative strategies, transfer earlier learning, and represent knowledge through different means. As a teacher, I rather to give formative than summative assessment. The fourth one is the informative. Informative, the desired 21st century goals and objectives are clearly stated and explicit taught. Students display their range of emerging knowledge and skills. Before starting the class, the students are aware of the goals and objectives. With that, they will be guided with their achievement. The fifth one of 21st century assessment is the multiple methods. An assessment continuum that includes a spectrum of strategies is the norms. So students demonstrate knowledge and skills through relevant tests and projects and also performances. So, authentic and performances-based assessment is emphasized. The students have different intelligences, so don't focus only on the one way of assessing their learnings. The sixth one is communicated. Communication of assessment. Data is clear and transparent for all stakeholders. Results are routinely posted to a database along with standard-based commentary, both of which must be available and comprehensible at all levels. Students receive routine feedback on their progress, and parents are kept informed through access to visible progress report and assessment of data. The seventh one is the technically. Adjustment and accommodation are made in the assessment process to meet the student needs and fairness. Students will demonstrate what they know and how they can apply their gained knowledge in ways that are relevant and appropriate for them. To be valid, the assessment must measure stated objectives and 21st century skills and legitimacy and integrity. To be reliable, the assessment must be precise and technically sound so that the user are consistent in their administration and interpretation of data. They provide information for decision making in all relevant circumstances. Since the students have different beliefs, intelligence, gender, and socioeconomic group, I make sure that my assessments are valid, reliable, and support comparisons. And the last one is the systematic. Systematic 21st century assessment is part of comprehensive and well-aligned assessment system that are balanced and inclusive for all students. Constituent and stakeholders are designed to support improvement at all levels. Change are inevitable, so make sure that you're able to identify the needs of your student and community. Through that, you will able to develop the student into globally competitive individual. So again, the 8 characteristics of 21st century assessment are responsive, flexible, integrated, informative, multiple methods, communicated, technically, and systematic. It is very important to study these 8 characteristics of 21st century assessment because this will help you to identify the strengths and weaknesses of your student so that you will able to find out what should be the right assessment you're going to use to your student. That's all for the 21st century assessment, and thank you. I hope you like it.